Alright, so this is going to be a reading for Sagittarius. And for the Sagittarius that I'm reading for today, I'm seeing that you're really figuring something out. You're seeing something for what it was with the Hanged Man and your overall energy. You're gaining perspective, you're gaining clarity. With the Seven of Swords in the middle of your reading, there's something that was unclear to you, but it's starting to make itself known and you're starting to see the truth about something. So that's what this reading is going to be about. Now, before I dive deeper into these energies, I just want to say thank you so much for being here and for receiving this reading. If you would like a personal reading, I do offer them, and you can email me down below in the description box for more information. And if this reading resonates with you, please take a moment to like and subscribe, as that helps out the channel enormously and helps me connect more with other people. So Sagittarius, there's, like I said, something that you're realizing. When I clarified the Hanged Man, I got the King of Swords, the Three of Pentacles, the Four of Swords. So there's something that you are seeing the truth of with the King of Swords. You're understanding the dynamics at play, how your energy and another energy are coming together, and it's allowing you to almost like rest and sort of understand, like, okay, I understand completely what's going on. You don't have to worry anymore, is sort of what I'm seeing. For some of you, if you haven't found this energy yet, it's something that is coming through on the horizon. Now, let's take a deeper look here. Your oracle cards for today are the Fool, Suppression in Reverse, and Comparison. And so really what I'm seeing with Suppression in Reverse and Comparison, different dynamics that you may have been picking up on, and you were keeping them inside, you were suppressing them, they were kind of tampered down in the subconscious or just not being spoken about. With the Fool, it's like those energies are opening up and they're being seen for what they are, they're being recognized, they're being understood. And so a lot is kind of coming to light here. And you're coming through today as the Queen of Pentacles. We have the Star, the King of Pentacles, and the Queen of Pentacles. And then as I was shuffling, the Queen of Pentacles came out again. So there's some connection here that felt very aligned for you. It felt like possibly destined with the Star card. The King and Queen of Pentacles are perfect counterparts, so it felt like a perfect match to your energy. And for some of you, it could have felt like more than you could have even hoped for. Let's take a look at that Star card energy in your recent past. The Two of Wands, the Queen of Swords, and the Knight of Pentacles. So this is something that you're showing me. I wanted it for a long time. I knew that I wanted it. I was manifesting it with the Queen of Swords. It's something that I was sort of expressing, and something that you were thinking about for a long time, really wanting, and it could have felt like it was just taking a really long time to kind of plan out and bring into fruition. But eventually it did materialize with that King of Pentacles and Queen of Pentacles. Let's take a look at your energy with the Queen of Pentacles, the Five of Cups, the Ace of Cups, the Five of Wands. You're showing me that you had been hurt in love before in the past. There had been conflict, there had been stress, and even just the idea of new love, or when new love came along, it's like almost hard for you to kind of access that energy because of whatever you went through in the past, and it could have just felt like it was taking a long time to reach your destination, to get what you were wanting. Let's look at the King of Pentacles here. The Page of Pentacles, the Four of Cups, the Seven of Wands. I see. So this isn't an actual person. It's more just you kept coming into energies that felt like they just were not up to standard. You were looking for a king and you kept getting a page. So you were looking for kind of the whole package, someone who could reach you emotionally, materially, spiritually, and could really match your energy. And it's like you just kept getting upset and finding people where Four of Cups, Seven of Wands, it didn't work out. Maybe they were presenting something with that Page of Pentacles, but really it almost looks like a maturity gap. Like they just were not they were not on your level in some way. Now, in the current energy, you have the Tower, the Seven of Swords, and the Four of Cups. And with that Tower, the Wheel of Fortune just came out as I was shuffling, so it's like there's something shifting here. You're breaking some type of pattern. And I'm really seeing this as you being honest with yourself about what it was that wasn't working for you and shifting this pattern yourself, saying, I'm not going to participate in this anymore. I'm not lying to myself or anyone else. I'm just going to be really honest about what it is that I want, what it is that's upsetting me, and what it is that I can accept. So that Seven of Swords is just really drawing me in. Let's clarify that. The Star, the Knight of Swords, the Four of Swords. You're kind of telling yourself, I'm not rushing into anything. What's meant for me is gonna come. What's meant for me will not pass me. And you've kind of decided, I'm not going to worry anymore about, is this person living up to my standards? Am I going to find the thing that I'm looking for? And you're really interrupting, that pattern, and saying, I know what it is that I want. I know what true love feels like. And I'm only going to accept that. And that almost brings you a level of peace, because suddenly it becomes a lot easier. You're like, I know what it feels like when my needs aren't being met. I know what it feels like when I'm not receiving the love that I desire or that I deserve. And you're almost able to see it more easily now because you've been through it. And so it becomes this very honest sort of weeding out process where you're like, I can weed out that energy from a mile away. As soon as I see it and it doesn't work for me, I can just kind of nix it out. Now, you may have told yourself in the past that you were doing this, but at this point, you are really shifting on a deeper level the way that you interact with love, with relationships, with connection, and I'm just seeing that you're being more honest with yourself, and that it's actually bringing you a level of peace with that Four of Swords coming out twice. You're leaving behind any anxieties that you brought to relationships, that you brought to love, and ultimately you're raising your standards. Let's take a look at that with the Four of Cups. The Ace of Wands, the Seven of Pentacles, and the Judgment card. Yeah, you're basically saying when new things come in, Ace of Wands, I'm looking at them really closely with the Seven of Pentacles. What does it have to offer? What do you have to invest in me? What am I investing in you? And then Judgment, let me make that judgment call. You're not just leaping for the first thing that lands on your plate or the first person who gives you an offer. You're really looking at these offers and you're saying, what do you have to give me? And you're not afraid to say, no, you're not my King of Pentacles, you're not on my level, or we're just not compatible. Sorry, but it's a no from me. And so that's kind of the place that you're operating from, and it brings in new love, because once you show the universe sort of what you will and won't accept, the universe starts to match that and starts to say, okay, well, what about this? Or what about that? Will you accept this? And so there's new love that comes in, Ace of Cups, Ace of Swords, but there's also, with that, some of the pains from the past might come up as well. Let's take a look at the Three of Swords. The Seven of Wands, the Lover's card, the Three of Cups. You're showing me in the past, not only have I been let down by the caliber of people that come towards me, but I've been let down because what I really want is the whole cake, the lovers, the deep soul connection, the self-exploration, the commitment, the feeling of this person's soul resonates with my soul. And what you got was really that Three of Cups energy. With the Three of Swords, this could be like third-party energy, like maybe you just found out that you weren't the main person involved, there was someone else, they weren't as committed to you as you thought, something like that. Or it just felt like you were packing the whole pie and someone else just wanted a slice. Sort of this energy of you want the whole soul connection, someone else just wants to be friends or just wants to connect on kind of a lower level. And that was painful for you. You're showing me a lot of disappointment, a lot of heartbreak around maybe I really thought that this was the one. I wish this didn't have to end, that kind of thing. But ultimately, it did. And so the question now is, what are you bringing into the future? And when you're faced with new love options, are you going to be able to be open to them? So let's take a look at that Ace of Cups, the Worlds, the Page of Pentacles, the Five of Cups. There's something that lingers in your heart. It could be a specific person for some of you, or it could be multiple people. Whoever it was from your past that you were disappointed by, who you wanted them to be your King of Pentacles and they were your Page, whoever it was that you expected more from, that you wanted more from, there's a part of your heart that could still be hanging on to hope of, are we going to reconnect? Are they going to show up, on that higher level? Are they going to end up showing up the way that I want them to? And there's a part of your heart that has to leave that behind, leave that hope behind, and just close that door in order to move on to something new. And I'm seeing that you're still grieving that, and you're still grieving sort of what could have been, even though you might know on a practical level, okay, I deserve more. For some of you, if you're feeling like you've been single for a while, or you've been by yourself for a while, or there's just been kind of a lapse in connection and you're looking for more connection, that lapse could be because the lesson that you're meant to learn is about raising those standards. And if you're still hanging on to something from the past that didn't meet those standards, the energy won't align until you align with being in that reality of this is what I deserve and this is what I'm looking for. If you're still holding on to the past in the present moment, it's hard for the future to come in. And it's okay, if you're still grieving, it's just something to note. And as you become more aligned with, okay, I know what I want, I know what I deserve, and you phase out that older energy, that's when Ace of Swords, something new is going to come in. You're going to receive that communication from the universe. We've heard your request, we've heard your manifestation, and something new is coming in. Let's take a look. The King of Wands, the Knight of Cups, the High Priestess. So there's an energy out there, the King of Wands, that is ready to connect to you, and you're not aware of it with the High Priestess, but it's something that can only connect to you and can only open up to you when you are aligned with what it is you truly deserve, what your standards really are. You're not in that chasing element, you're not in that grieving element. When you show up fully presently to what it is you desire in the here and now, this new thing is ready to contact you and come through. King of Cups at the bottom of the deck, so this is that new love. This is that, that whole package, that person that's going to speak to your heart. They're almost like waiting to come in on the spiritual level. It's just a matter of you aligning with yourself and what you desire and fully putting your past to rest. And once you do, this will come in. Let's get 3 cards of advice from the universe for you, Sagittarius. Your 3 cards of advice are the 8 of Wands, the 10 of Swords, the Page of Cups. Pay attention to how you're feeling and try to honor the way that you feel. If you're feeling upset and you're feeling hurt, there's this question of why are you looking for the next thing? You need to grieve and you need to heal that before this next thing can come in. And it's going to come in. Like, I see that in the cards. It's here and it's a definite thing. It's just there's some healing that you need to do and some alignment that needs to take place before you can fully step into that next thing, and that's okay. So basically, take your time to heal, to grieve, to feel your feelings is the message that I'm getting. So that's what I have for you, Sagittarius. I hope that this helps. I hope this resonates, and I'll see you next time.